Hi, my name's Sheldon Person, and I'm a violist in the Houston Symphony. And today we're going to work on Kreutzer's 26th Etude, which is the TMEA Texas All-State Etude for 2020, which is one of them. The reason we work on etudes is the same reason that athletes work on building muscles in the gym. All of the muscles that they're exercising, they need to use playing their sports every day. All of the skills that musicians work on developing in etudes are skills that musicians use every day that they play in orchestra, in chamber music, whatever you do as a musician. So in this etude, there's a lot of skills we're working to develop, like shifting, good intonation, string crossings, different bow strokes, and going back and forth between the two. So those are things that we have to use every day. So this is an opportunity for us to develop and master those skills. So basically we have two big problems in Kreutzer 26. One is the right hand and the other is the left hand. So we separate the two things and we work on each separately because our brains work best when we focus on only one thing at a time. So let's start by working on the left hand. Let's put the bow on the string and not worry about the complicated bow stroke yet. Let's just leave it on the string and work on the left hand. So we start slowly, and the first thing we practice is the right hand makes the notes, but the left hand has to be prepared in advance of the right hand. So we think left hand ahead of right hand. So we practice slowly. Camera angle, you might not see it so well, but I'm going to try to turn around, and if you look, I'm trying to be ahead with my left hand always. Cross in advance with the left hand. Left hand's ready, and all of these fingers are ready. Cross. Cross with the left hand first. Cross. So I'm always thinking that my left hand precedes the right hand. So you practice it slowly like that for a while. And that brings us to the shifting. There's a lot of shifts in this piece that you have to make very quickly. Now, there's different kinds of shifts that we have to make as string players. Sometimes we shift hand and then thumb, like that. And sometimes we shift thumb and then hand. Okay, but I think in this etude, we don't want to do either of those kinds of shifting. In this etude, all of our shifts are thumb, first finger, fourth finger, all move together. The whole hand moves as a unit like that in this etude. So we really want to have that in our minds, that our first finger, our thumb, and our fourth finger all move together. Now, when we practice shifting in a piece like this, we always want to remember Albert Einstein, who said that time and distance are related. So we're not just learning the distance of the shift, we're learning the distance and how long it takes to get there. So, you hear how I played extra notes? I know that noise doesn't sound pretty, and it's certainly not how we want to actually play the etude, but that extra sound helps us learn how far and how long our finger has to travel. And then what we do is we let our ear listen to the distance and the time, and our ear tells us when to stop. That's how we practice the shifts. And always remember, left hand ahead of right hand. concepts with the left hand that we need to work on in this etude, and we use it 100% of the time when we play music in every context. So it's worth learning in Kreutzer's 26th etude. Now we move to the right hand. As I say, we start with the bow on the string, and we want to think first of all, the engine of this stroke. I'm going to perform this at the end of this video, and if you look at the performance, I put the camera up high so you could really see my bow arm and my left hand. So if you want to steal my fingerings, by all means. You'll see that my fingers move a little bit, and my wrist moves a little bit, and my elbow moves a little bit, and my upper arm moves a little bit. So, but don't get lost in that. Remember, the elbow is the engine of the stroke. So everything else moves a little bit, but the elbow is the driver of this stroke. So we start by practicing the stroke on the string. Nice, compact, small strokes, because we're going to need that when we want to bounce it. We have to keep our bow very compact. Always like this. And then as we start to develop the bounce, we want to think of still that horizontal motion, and with a little bit of flexibility in the fingers and wrist, and our upper arm moves a little bit also, because we're playing, I have to play this in the lower half to get the low strings on the viola to speak, and in the upper half, in the lower half, the forearm, the upper arm moves a little bit. So we've got a small triangle, square, big triangle. So in the bottom half of the bow, the small triangle, see how our upper arm has to move a little bit even when the elbow moves? So the upper arm does move a tiny bit, but remember always, the elbow is the driver of this stroke. So we want to start bouncing it, and we're making a U shape with our elbow. So it's this kind of a shape. And now we want to put that bounce stroke with our 3+1. So we've got bow on the string, and then from the string, but lift. And the bow's up in the air. We bounce back from the string, on the string and lift. On the string and lift. And when you lift, you're ready for the spiccato. On, lift. Now, when you practice that, you practice it slowly, always slowly, because it gives us time to think. Gradually, we want to build up speed. Now, the way we build up speed is we practice slowly and let our minds think of the music unfolding slowly. And so what we do is we think of the music in large groups. So for me to play this music fast, I don't think of one note at a time. I think of 8 notes at a time as a group. So I think of, and then another group, and then another group. So for me, to speed it up, I think of one group, 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 and so on and so on and so on. So that's how I go from a slow speed to a fast speed. Now the last thing I'll say about this etude and about every etude that you play is everything we touch in our life as musicians is always still a piece of music. So I know this piece is very sort of formulaic and metronomic, and we have all these 16th notes that go up and then they go back down and then they go back up. But remember, if you can play something beautifully, it doesn't cost you any more to play beautifully. If you can make the music flow in an easy fashion, and when the harmonies change or when you have big leaps, take a little bit of extra time and make make some music with it, have some fun with it, because it also makes the technical challenges seem a lot easier. So I wish you all the best of luck on your 2020 Texas All-State Etude practice. And here's the way I played it last night.